right, guys, we're going to talk about something here that we don't talk about a whole heck of a lot in business, especially not entrepreneurial trainers or educators, and that is failure in business. Here's a fact: 80% of businesses fail. That's a pretty sobering statistic. If 80% of businesses fail, you'd think this would be a topic we'd discuss a lot more, or at least you'd hear a lot more about, but you don't. Yeah, you have naysayers out there who are going to tell each and every person doing everything under the sun not to try, that waddle around like broken winged penguins, just telling all the birds that they need to get on the ground and get with the game. I'm not talking about being a negative, pessimistic, cynical person here. I'm talking about the fact that likelihood of you failing is pretty high at any given business that you start. Now, obviously, you want to stack the deck more in your favor, but let's say you stack it pretty well. What does that leave you with, 50-50? The fact is, most businesses fail. That doesn't mean most entrepreneurs fail, though. That doesn't mean you will fail as an entrepreneur. It means that you're going to have to probably take multiple swings at it in life. The fact is, if you take enough swings, 30% chance of success, 20% chance of success is more than enough to be successful. What you need to adopt, and I try to tell this to people, I try to instill this in people I train, especially when I do one-on-one coaching and training, is that you need to have a mentality that you're going to keep throwing one foot in front of the other and you're just not going to stop until you reach that mountain, right? Business is not a battle. It's not something you charge up and expel a bunch of energy and then you're done. It's a day-to-day systemic, arduous struggle. And yeah, plans don't pan out. I've had a whole bunch of businesses that didn't pan out or didn't go the way I wanted them to go or wound up in suboptimal conditions and all kinds of failures there. But the thing is, I keep getting up and I keep trying because I've adopted the attitude that business is a lifestyle. Entrepreneurship is a lifestyle. It's something you continually and perpetually do until you succeed at it. Now, a lot of people develop really negative attitudes and negative mentalities after they've failed at a business, right? And I've seen this happen way too many times to way too many talented people. You see people that get a business, get it off the ground a little bit, and then it collapses. And then what happens with that person is they get into a depression and they never really try again. They try again, but they don't try like they did before. Or usually they go and they get a job and then they become, the local drunk or something like that. You see this a lot of times with people that are ex-entrepreneurs developing substance abuse problems, alcohol problems, all kinds of different issues plague these sorts of folks. And, you see it all the time if you do training and you're educating, you're working with a lot of entrepreneurs. You see that a lot of the people are trying and really giving their all to something. When I'm not saying they shouldn't have given their all, but they're looking at it as a battle. And then when they don't win that one battle, they don't have enough, their energy is depleted and they don't go on to try again. So what I try to teach people is I think the best thing you have to do, the smart move here is to look at the businesses that you're founding, whether you're founding a digital agency as a part-time business, a hobby, look at it as something that's always experimental. Businesses are always experimental. When you lead a business, you only have one job, and that's to make the business survive, right? It's just one thing, survive, just keep kicking. But your job also at the same time is to not repeat the same mistakes that you've made before. You're going to learn something. When you open a business, when you open your first digital agency, when you start selling these services, you're going to learn. You're not going to be the same person 6 months down the road than you were 6 months before you started. After the agency runs its course, whether it succeeds, fails, or more often than not, we declare something a failure because it morphs into something else, but it wasn't really a failure. That kind of a thing, like where you found a business and you're going to sell SEO, and then you find out you want to sell websites and you change directions a little bit and you count the SEO business as a failure, but it wasn't really a failure. It led you somewhere else. Whatever the eventuality, you're going to learn from it. That's what you need to think of and you need to keep in mind. You're learning all the time. You're educating yourself all the time. You're growing all the time. And you're not expelling so much energy that you can't keep going. Never get into a situation where you bet the farm, right, on this business. Because, the odds are the house has a stacked deck against you and you're going to lose. The odds are. So keep that in mind. And don't ever be ashamed of yourself or feel down about yourself personally for launching a business and it not succeeding, because here's a fact: most people never even try. Most people never even get off the bench in life. The fact that you are trying to found a business is commendable in and of itself. The fact you made mistakes, that's normal. If the thing to be ashamed of is not trying, letting yourself be defeated by one setback. When one business goes under, what do? You go back to the drawing boards, you start over, you get your chips together, you get your act together, and you go back and you try again and again and again, and make it a lifestyle. Make it something that's second nature to you. There's lots of hokum in our culture and nonsense surrounding, business and work hard, play hard, and all this kind of stuff, right? There's all kinds of different sayings and things and ideas people have in their heads. And the fact is, if you're a serious entrepreneur, you're always an entrepreneur. You're on 24 hours a day. I'm not saying you don't take vacations or you don't have fun. You don't, go and party and do whatever you're going to do. You do all those kind of things. But first and foremost, you're an entrepreneur. You're always looking around. You're always scanning for opportunities. You're always thinking. You're always researching. You're always learning. You're the kind of person that wants to grow as an individual and be a permanent, perpetual student of their craft, an autodidact that's always absorbing information. That becomes part of who you are. And what's normal is being at work. What's abnormal is being on vacation, right? Or goofing off. That's part of what the whole entrepreneurial spirit is about. And it's a lot of fun, and it's a lifestyle, and it's something you have to inculcate and grow in yourself if you want to be successful. So to sum this up, this video is really for people who are out there who are, becoming entrepreneurs, worried about failure. Don't ever be ashamed. Just keep on kicking, keep on fighting. You're going to be just fine. Just because 80% of businesses fail doesn't mean 80% of entrepreneurs do. I would say the percentage of serious entrepreneurs who fail in a classical sense of fail is very, very low, because the people that are continually trying to found businesses more often than not learn from mistakes and wind up succeeding. Anyhow, that's going to conclude this video. If you like it, go ahead, hit that like button, subscribe to the channel, and ring that bell to get notifications when we're dropping new ones. I'll see you in the next vid.